What's up, healers? Like, this is going to be one of my favorite interviews ever. Let me just tell you guys this. They live like literally 20 minutes from my house, but we have a very hard time getting together because we're so busy as mompreneurs. And these two women, let me just kind of like set the tone here for this conversation. First off, I used to stalk you guys. I don't know if you know this, but I did. I stalked you guys on TikTok and I was like, I love them. Like, I just love everything they're doing. I just freaking love it. And then I found you on Instagram and I stalked there. And then I saw you at an event and I was like, holy crap, we're in the same company. That's so awesome. And this was, years ago. And I just want you guys to know, like, I've admired how you grind in your businesses, but how you also are just two of the most amazing moms I think that I have literally seen. Like, I will tell you guys, my teenager no longer has AirPods because of Jen. No. I won't tell her it's you, I promise, but there's no more AirPods. I love how as influencers, you've also created your own brands. You've created other multiple streams of income. You're not just posting and getting paid posts. Like, you guys are real mompreneurs. And I'm just grateful that I'm able to just have this space so my healers can get to know both of you and just kind of hear your story. And let me ask you a bunch of uncomfortable questions.
Let's go.
All right, well, let's start off with this. Tell everybody, so this is Danielle and this is Jen. I don't know if I did the right because we're backwards here, but why don't you guys just share a little bit about what started you into becoming influencers, like the social media scene, like share just a little bit about that.
Okay, I'll start. So in 2010 is kind of when Instagram launched and I was in this really big lifestyle out in Beverly Hills. And I thought, I'm going to start a blog and share everything that, the rich and famous are doing out here in Beverly Hills. And I'm just such a girl's girl. And I always just love sharing information and talking with other women and connecting. And so I started a blog and that kind of led and fed into Instagram as well. And then from there, Instagram just continued to evolve. I was influencing before influencer was even a term. And yeah, it just evolved. It just continued to evolve. And then additional platforms came around. TikTok, Facebook finally opened up for the public, not just students. And I just kind of turned what was a passion into a full-time sort of career in a sense. I wasn't charging at first, I was in a really fortunate situation. And I just felt like I'm going to help these small mom and pop brands and share them to my following that I had built over time. But then once everyone else started getting paid and charging, I felt like this would be really a smart move for me. If I'm going to use my voice, my likeness, and promote a company that I truly believe in, I should at least be, compensated for that. Time is money, and my following that I built trusts me. So my word is also valuable. So that's kind of where we are. I continue to blog and pass it over to Danielle.
So I was not on social media as early as Jen. I actually had Instagram, but I wasn't on so much. My position, my work background, I started out dog grooming as a kid, and then I moved from New York to Beverly Hills, and I took a position eventually as a director of operations for multiple grooming salons in these 3 different locations, and I was based out of Beverly Hills. So yes, I had the creativity of grooming, but I was managing and running a team as well. So we had moved to Florida in 2018. So then by 2019 already, we kind of fell into quarantine and all of that craziness.
Actually, no, it was 2019. 2020 was quarantine.
Okay. Well, we were approaching quarantine and then kind of had all this time on our hands, and TikTok was very popular. And all of a sudden we just started posting videos, silly stuff with us. And then my TikTok account started growing and flying. And then my Instagram account was growing. And then we were approached for the company that we were working together, us and you, and we got involved with that. And Jen was always the front end, and I was like, oh, it's great, I could do the back end, I know what it's like to manage. And we got into direct sales, and I was like, well, I should continue growing my social media platforms because it's going to help now to be front end and back end. And it kind of just, I think, evolved from there. Just the consistency of showing up on Instagram and TikTok, and they both grew. And then we even decided to do a YouTube channel for a short time, just on some of the personal things going on in our life, and it just, each platform fed the other.
I think what you two do so well too is like you authentically are showing up, right? Like you guys are both always authentically showing up. And, you know, there are so many trolls that are out there, and for you guys to live out loud and have to deal with the nonsense, right? Have to deal with just the mean people that just need to be squashed with a stiletto, like the heel part. So it like really just gets them, you know, and you keep going. You don't stop, right? You just keep going. And I just appreciate that because like I said, like I've gotten so much value from both of you and it's awesome. So I love this. I love the story. I know how you two got together and I love the story and I love following you guys on your journey. And now you've launched this clothing brand. What the heck made you two be like, I need to start a clothing company? Like, cause you guys, you don't have enough going on already with all the things, right? Like, let's blow up a clothing company. Where'd that come from?
So I think we kind of both reached a point where like, this is crazy right now. Like social media is flying. Again, we're in quarantine. There's more time to be creative and think of other outlets. And basically when you have an affiliate link or doing direct sales for any company, it's great and you're getting paid, but you're making money for someone else. And, you know, we started talking, and from living out in California and being LGBTQ, like I've always felt like I dress a little bit masculine, and I've always had trouble finding clothes that fit me because I'm typically a size small in women's. I would need a men's brand to carry an extra small, and then if they carry the extra small, it still doesn't mean for like pants that they were gonna fit me because I have hips and a butt, so then that was a problem. I think we had this idea where like we have all this attention going on right now, like let's kind of collab, and Jen will share like her reasons for it, but my need was to create clothing that people that dress like myself like could fit into and wear.
Yeah, and I come from a fashion background. I went to school for fashion design, and I've always just loved fashion and dressing up and all of the glam of it. And in 2012, I had launched my own swimwear brand. So I kind of had knowledge of owning a company, starting it from the ground up, and then eventually letting it go. What we did was I felt like Danielle had such a purpose, and I was like, well, wouldn't it be cute to like have something that's made for you, that's like your style, but then I could do like the girlier version of it. Cause like I like to wear crop tops and like little leggings and like scrunch butts. So what we thought would be really cool was to design something that you could interchange, because not everyone's style is going to be the same. Just because I have on leggings and a crop top, maybe there's a girl that wants the leggings but then a shirt that's like more covering or like more masculine, so, or vice versa. Maybe the girl wants to wear the sweatpants and then the little crop top. So being able to make it where you can mix and match, we felt like that was such a cool idea, and really aiming towards women and almost like unisex. We do have some men that end up buying Danielle's styles just because they love the fits, they love mine,
and we'll have men that will buy like the sweatpants and then they'll buy a crop sweatshirt, so you really don't know how it's gonna go. I think we both have such unique styles and they're so different. That was important, like what Jen was saying, like we chose things from the same like color swatch. This way, like the blacks would match perfectly, the tans would match, so it didn't matter like how you want to choose and match it up. And we've been getting that a lot since we launched, and it's been really cute.
The need, when you said that, when you said there was a need, that right there, finding the white space in an industry and finding a need that no one else is creating, and you go and create that, you created that space. And I noticed that when you guys launched, I was like, God, they're so smart. It was genius. It is genius. And I, by the way, have both sides, okay? I wear both sides and I'm obsessed, and I only dry clean all the things because I'm afraid to wash. I'm like, I can't shrink because I just fit just perfectly and I don't want to go a size up, just so we're clear.
A lot of the items are 100% cotton, so yeah, you have to be careful with the dry.
Okay, good to know, because I don't do my own laundry anyway, so that makes sense. So, okay, so you've got background in swimwear, fashion, right? You were looking for this need. What were some of the challenges that you faced with, hi, we're going to launch this brand new thing? I'm sure it wasn't all just puppies and rainbows. What were some of the top challenges you guys had?
I think, you know, when you're starting a brand, obviously you need to have a problem with a result. That's what really makes a successful company. Is there's a problem out here, there's nothing to solve it, so let's create the solution. So that was step one, where we were like, okay, this is what we want to do. Step two was like coming up with a name. What are we going to call this brand? You know, what is a name that fits? From there, it's like, okay, well, does it already exist? Then you have to do the research of like, does this name have a domain that can go with it? Is it already trademarked and held for the same category? You know, there's a lot of back-end research that has to go into something like this. I mean, now you can just, you know, AI how to start a company and it will list everything for you. But, you know, years ago, you really just had to do the research yourself and then get it done.
I think the steps, and then it was finding like
The
a
manufacturing.
manufacturer,
Oh, yeah.
finding some design with, right? Like, yeah, doing the research and trying it. And you're kind of trusting people too. It's like you don't know them and you're hoping things are going to turn out okay. And we made several samples, I think probably like over a dozen times from different companies, just to sample things from different factories and seeing like, hey, like how does this work? And we're laying out the money and you're hoping it's going to be okay. And sometimes it's not, you have to move on to the next. So I think you have to just kind of keep going and like keep that upbeat like attitude towards it, because it's disappointing, you know, when you're doing that and you're like, all right, this is going to be it. This is going to be the one. You know, at the time we were trying to launch for a certain season and that got pushed back, but we're like, we're just going to keep going and do it. And eventually we found a great factory to work with, and yeah, we were able to
Get it done.
press go and get it done.
Okay, so they're not like on Printful Shop, okay? Just so we're all clear here. Like they have a real clothing brand. This isn't like where you just connect it to your Go High level and you're selling shirts that someone's pressing for you, okay? They took the time to create this true brand. So what did you name the brand? What's the name of the company?
So we call the company Aligned, although it looks like it's spelled a legend, which we will happily take as well. But it is aligned, and it's because of our two styles going in the same direction. They are aligned together.
I love it. And I'm obsessed with the branding. So when you think about where you want this company to be, like in the next 5 years, like, do you guys have like a 5-year vision for this company? I'm curious.
I think that we'd love to get into some stores. Revolve is always something for me that is like a really great platform, and like in the middle, you know, they offer things that are from other companies that are a little bit lower of a price range, and then they go really, really high, and then they even have their sister company forward. So I feel like being in something like that would be really cool to eventually achieve. Also, just creating more basics. We want to branch out into sportswear and swimwear as well. And then just always bringing it back to the purpose, which is having those pieces interchange and really hitting both the masculine or androgynous and feminine side of.
Or it's even like tomboy or mom life. You know, we've had a lot of
boy
people
mom.
pick pieces for that reason. They're like, I'm always like doing athletic things with the kids.
Let's talk about the kids. So you have 2 boys.
Yes.
And you both are very active and hands-on. I've noticed how hands-on you are. Jen, you literally order things and like do all of these really cool like things, right? When I say this, I mean like very creative, right? She'll build a house with her kids basically. Like you just do the coolest stuff.
She hatched quail because Tino saw a YouTube video in which he stuck quail eggs in an
From a
incubator and he had hatched some quail. So Jen decided to take a carton of eggs and stick it in an incubator that she bought on Amazon, and now we're down to 3 quail. We started with 7, but we did give some of them away because it was getting out of control.
So what the hell? Like, how do you get this energy to run multiple businesses and be so active as moms in your kids' lifestyle, right? Because you guys could easily hire people to do all those things for you, and you choose to be very much hands-on, which I absolutely love. So how do you keep up with all the things?
I feel like it comes down to scheduling. Like
I was just gonna say
schedule everything, like absolutely everything from work life to mom life to personal. Everything is on a schedule and it's just in a to-do list every day. And I set times for the things that I have to, and I prioritize it. If there's something that has a deadline, of course, they'll get pushed to the front. But I think it's definitely being scheduled and having that balance, because what's the point of working so hard for everything if we don't have the time to enjoy it? We want to be able to spend time with our children. We don't want to be like, oh yeah, you grew up while we were working a 9 to 5 and
Yeah, I think we're fortunate that we get to work from home, 1. 2, I will say I am not as organized as I may appear to be. Danielle definitely helps me with the organization and scheduling. I'm just not. I'm very, very front end, and I have ongoing lists and papers, whether it's in my phone, on my desk, on my other desk. Like, I really try. But I think what helps is knowing that like the kids have a set schedule at school Monday through Friday. So during those hours, what can we do? I prioritize the days that I'm going to Pilates because that's really good for not only my physical, but also my mental health. Same with Danielle. She goes to the gym every 3 days, 4 days a week.
And the other days I'm in the garage in the morning.
And for me, you know, look, kids are little. I feel like quality over quantity as the kids get older, because they have their friends and they have things that they want to do. And it's not that you have to spend every minute with them, but those minutes that you do spend really should be focused on them. Like, put the phone down, watch a TV show, try to engage with them. I am much better out of the house with my kids at this point to engage with them. I like doing activities, arts and crafts, museums, farms, you know, things like that. In the house, I am not the person that's gonna play with their toys and sit there for hours. I'm just not. But I show up for them when I do in quality. And then they feel fulfilled, and then they go and do the things that they want to do. So I think, you know, for all of the moms, just knowing like you're going to feel the mom guilt, and it's really okay. Like, your mental sanity is also so important. You need to show up for yourself too. If your mental's not okay, it's going to affect everything, and it's going to be like that rolling, you know, downhill. It's just going to affect everything.
Yeah, and same, just to add on to that, like, we eat dinner at the same time in this house, like every night. So we know at that time kids are coming in, we're going to sit down, we're going to ask them specific questions about their day. I take our older son, he go to boxing once a week, and I made the commitment to him like a year ago, and I'm like, I will be here taking you every single week. It doesn't matter what's going on. And going back to what Jen said, like that quality over quantity, like I'm sure that means something to him. Versus if we were, you know, talking an extra 15 minutes, like as in passing, versus knowing, hey, we're gonna sit there, we're gonna talk on the drive to boxing, we're gonna talk on the way back, I'm gonna watch you box for an hour. And I think those are the kind of things that stick out for them in their heads and make memories, you know.
I don't know why, but I'm like getting emotional because it's those little things that we all want as moms, like to be there in our kids' lives. And then we forget that when we get so busy as entrepreneurs. And I think it's important. I remember literally being on an airplane every other weekend, just trying to build a business. And looking back at my firstborn, I missed a lot. She's now 14, but my 5-year-old, like I made sure I didn't do that with her, you know, like I made sure I made those times. And I don't think this is talked about enough. We're always talking about making money in the grind and having successful businesses. And I don't think it's talked about enough that success without the moments that matter don't matter, right? So I appreciate that. That's awesome. And I appreciate both of you for that. Here's a question that I'm sure a lot of influencers that are watching this are like, okay, how do I choose what to back and what not to back with my personal brand? I'm sure you guys have been approached with several opportunities or several big dollar things and you've had to say no to. Is there like a formula you guys follow, or what is that for you guys?
So whenever a company reaches out to me, first of all, I'm always super grateful that somebody even wants me to represent their brand or company, because everybody started somewhere, right? So we all started out somewhere along the way as mom and pop. And some of the companies grew and made it big and amazing, and congrats to them. But some of them are still, you know, small and mom and pop. And so I take a look first at their website and I'm like, okay, is this something that I would actually wear or use? Because at this point in like my influencing career, I just feel like your word is everything. And if you just start labeling and posting yourself on everything, people are going to call you out for your shit. Be like, you're being paid for that. That's not genuine. You don't stand behind that. I think at this point, people know the things that I like and the things that I would actually wear and talk about. Like if I go and start promoting AirPods, and trust me, I've been reached out to by lots of companies, I think somebody, and I hope they would call me out on my shit, not in alignment. So I think, you know, first see and say to yourself, like, is this something that's in alignment with me and my brand? Would I genuinely use this product myself? If it's a yes, say I'd love to try your product. I always like, if it's skincare or if it's makeup or a hair product, I need to try it first, because if it's breaking me out, if it smells bad, if it goes on greasy and I'm not going to use it, I don't want to tell all of these people that look up to me and trust word that I'm using this and they go and buy it, they're like, damn, like Jen uses that. We're not going to use, what she recommends anymore. And it would just ruin and tarnish my whole brand, So I try it. If I like it, then I reach back out. And based on your engagement and your followers and where you think you are, then you could put a price on it and say, hey, I will do a story post with a link for this amount. And it's kind of like out there on the internet versus like followers and stuff, but there's so many micro influencers that have amazing engagement. Like, don't cut yourself short. Just because you see somebody with 1 million followers, go look at their engagement on their reels. Go look at how many likes and stuff, although likes are down right now. Like, I get horrible likes even on some of my stuff. But look at their engagement. You might have better engagement than the people with 1 million followers. Like, don't encourage you.
Danielle, do you want to add anything to that?
100%. I mean, to that, and even, not so much even being genuine so everyone can see that, but it's even being genuine for yourself, because if you're going to get behind a product that you're not comfortable speaking with, it's not going to do you any good. Like, why even take something on if it's not aligned with what you're already doing? Like, sometimes I get reached out to for like skincare or makeup, and I'm like, I can't see myself doing a makeup tutorial. And I get back to people, but I will do things that are more in line with like fitness. Another conversation we have sometimes is you don't have to say yes to everything, because then it's too many things and you're overwhelmed. I think it's better to start someplace, and like if a company does reach out, or if you're looking, find something that aligns with you and be consistent with that specific thing and see how you can grow that one thing. And then when you get comfortable with that, then expand into something else. Don't say yes to everything and then you're all over the place.
Another think is, if there is a product that you love, and I will use this for example, Row is a company that came out. I was targeted on Instagram for an NAD, liquid NAD products, and I was like, wow, I need to try this. So I bought it myself. I tried it. I loved it. I reached out to the company on Instagram and I said, hey, I purchased your product. I really love it. I would love the opportunity to share your product with my following. Is there any room for a collaboration here? And they wrote back to me and said, yes, we'll happily give you a code. You'll earn this amount commission. Not all of the products are going to be paid up front. Some of them are for commission. But you know what? If you genuinely love the product and you're going to show up on your social media and share it, your people are going to buy it, which is going to show the company that, hey, look, this girl's sharing it. Her code's being used, because they can see it all on their back end. Maybe we offer her a paid collaboration and they have something bigger to offer you. And for the companies that do reach out for you, that you're like, this really isn't for me, you politely decline and say, right now, I just feel like this isn't in alignment with where I am. Maybe we can, speak in the future about another opportunity. And that's it. You never want to burn your bridges. You just never know who's behind the screen, what company they're going to go to next, who's going to read it or reach out to you. So always just keep it open-ended.
Okay, I love that. So let's get into the advice part. So you both achieved what many aspire with time freedom, right? When you see other women that are creating business, and you kind of touched on this a little bit with your schedule, right? When you think about they want to create this business and they want to have this lifestyle, what would you say is something that you wish you would have known in the very beginning that maybe could have helped you had success in your businesses a little bit quicker?
Don't be afraid to take the risk. If it's something that off the bat, like to do it faster.
I think that's a big one. When you think about risks, what are some risks that you guys have taken?
I think stepping away from a 9-to-5, also just investing in our businesses and hoping they were going to be successful. Another risk was actually sending a nice chunk of money out to a factory in hopes that they were going to send us items back.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty big risk.
Yeah, I definitely think the monetary risk is a big one for a lot of people, but you really have to believe in yourself and the product that you're putting out there. That's number one. I just recently launched a company for bras for women that have explanted or had mastectomies. And there's nothing else like that in the world really right now. And risk on myself, putting out there something and putting a lot of money into it. But I truly believe that what I'm doing has so much of like a core value for people. This is touching people so much deeper. And I really trusted like the whole process that like this is going to do really good. I am so solving a problem. And so the investment and the risk that we're taking, like, it was worth it. And sure enough, it's doing amazing. And I just continue to push forward. But there were moments where I looked at everything that I was doing and I really questioned if it was worth it. I questioned if it was worth my time, if it was worth the money that I had put into it and spent, if it was worth the long hours dealing with, overseas while the kids are asleep or Danielle's waiting in bed. But sometimes you have to take those risks and hope for the best.
I literally just had that conversation with one of my clients today, and she's like, I want to scale. Like, I got to 7 figures and I want to scale, but I don't want it to take any more of my time. And I'm like, right now is straight up, if you want to scale from 7 figures to even higher, that's a schedule problem. That's an appointment problem. That's like a literal, like, you don't have a vision problem. Like, you're not clear on what that looks like. And everything that you guys are saying comes from clarity and a place of purpose. And I think that's something that influencers, because TikTok shop now, and everybody's on TikTok shop, right? And they're selling something just to make a buck. And okay, so here's my question to somebody who's just starting on TikTok shop. They're just picking products. You said obviously you want to be aligned, which I love because it goes with the branding. What would you say they need to watch out for? Any red flags or anything to look out for when it comes to influencing on TikTok shop?
As an influencer, so I've bought stuff off of TikTok shop before, and I've literally been targeted on TikTok. So, I've had a pretty good experience. I really don't know. I think one thing is there's a lot of fake pages on TikTok that pop up, especially of popular companies, whether it's phone cases to, I don't know if you saw this one, this spray for your face so you could shave
it off.
I bought it, but I was targeted from all of these other fake companies that were knocking off the original brand. So I kind of like to stick with the original brand. So make sure the actual page with the actual domain, I'm sure it would have been just fine. But if their photo doesn't look good and they're just slapping on another name, go to the original company, protect yourself. You don't know where it's coming from or that way. So I think that that's maybe one thing to say for TikTok shop.
I love that. Well, I'm so grateful for both of you. This has been the most amazing 40 minutes that we've been on, and I appreciate your time. Guys, I'm going to link all the things so you can follow both of them on Instagram, on TikTok. You have to follow them on TikTok too because they're hilarious. And they do different things on different platforms. I've noticed that. They've got a great YouTube channel. But I do just want both of you to know, I appreciate the effort that you put into the things that you do promote or the things that you do share, because it's never just promoted just so you can make a buck. It's so clear in your branding, who you are as people, who you are as entrepreneurs, as moms, and I'm just grateful for that. And I think when you find influencers or you find just anyone with any kind of influence that really takes the time to put that much effort into their social media platforms, you guys deserve all the goods, and I'm just grateful for both of you.
Thank you so much.
All right, healers, we love you. Bye.